Do 99-cent batteries like these from Sunbeam last as long as the brand name ones? It's a great question. It's one I've asked myself for a long time, but I've never actually tested it, so that's what we're gonna do today. Hey guys, I'm Steve. This is the cheapest channel on YouTube, the place where I go out and test the cheapest products I can to see if they're actually decent or if they're total junk. So these are the two competitors for today. We have the brand name, which is Kirkland from Costco, and I know some of you guys may say, well, that's not really a brand name. I'm looking for Energizer or something like that. The Kirkland brand from Costco is awesome. Everything they do, really high quality products. I've used these batteries for a long time in all different sizes, and they work really, really well. They last a long time. So yes, I am considering this a brand name. For our generic, this is made by Sunbeam. I picked it up at Dollar Tree, a pack of 6 of them for 99 cents. So with the help of a multimeter like this, which measures electrical current and capacity, we're going to be able to find out exactly how well these two batteries compare. Do they have the same amount of voltage stored in them, and do they drain at the same time? So we're going to test both of those. So just a little side note on this thing here, it took me 4 stores to find this. First I went to Home Depot, they didn't have it. I went to Lowe's, they didn't have it. Walgreens, they didn't have it. Guess what? Walmart. Thanks Walmart, I love you, you always have everything I need. Guys, throw me a like for this video, A for effort, okay? I really appreciate it. It took a long time to find this stupid thing. Okay, so before we get started on the test, here's a little backstory of how this all came about today and why I decided to make this video. So here I was this morning going into my drawer to get my trusty beard trimmer, and I turn it on and the stupid thing doesn't work. So then I go to open the back to check the batteries and I see this and I'm like, what the heck is Universal Electronics? So you have this combination of batteries. One of them, you know, Kirkland, oh great, I use those all the time. One of them is this thing. So I'm thinking, well, what's the problem? Are they both bad? Is it the Kirkland? Is it this generic brand that I've never heard of? And then I thought to myself, oh, what a great idea for a test. I'm gonna do a video review, a product test on this exact thing. And then I thought to myself, oh shoot, I don't have any cheap batteries. I just have the Kirklands. Guess it's time to go to Dollar Tree. Oh yeah, that's the place. So that's it. That's the story of how we got to where we're at now. I've got my Dollar Tree bag of goodies here. Let me show you everything that I've got. I have the multimeter. I bought this again at Walmart. It was like 17 bucks. It's digital, a little bit better than the analog ones. It's easier to tell the exact numbers. So I got that. Came with the positive and negative lead wires. I got my batteries. Now I've already taken these out of the packs, but I got a 9-volt Sunbeam that I want to test. And I'm going to test it against a Duracell, which we all know. Good brand, been around a long time. Definitely more expensive. And I've got the 2 AA batteries. If you can see these, I've got the Sunbeam and the Kirkland brand. Here's a little spoiler alert for the next video, everyone. I found $1 light bulbs. And with the multimeter, you can actually measure to see if these light bulbs are as good as some of the other more expensive ones. So we'll do that in the next video. And guys, if this content is stuff that you're interested in, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the little bell for notifications. That way you won't miss any of my new videos. Okay, so first things first, we want to set up the multimeter. All you have to do is take the black negative lead and plug it right in here where it says COM for common. You take the red positive lead, and for battery testing, you see where it says V, you plug it in right there. So you can see there's a dial here with a bunch of different settings depending on what you're testing. For batteries, it says BATT right here, and you'll have 2 options, a 9-volt or 1.5 volt. So if everybody doesn't know already, this is a 9-volt battery. It says right here, 9V. And these AA's are actually 1.5 volt. And that's the same for AA, AAA, C, D batteries. They're all 1.5. And here's a little tip that I actually didn't know until today. With the 9-volt batteries like these guys, a fully charged brand new battery isn't 9 volts. It's actually 9.6 volts. That's a fully charged new battery. And with the AA's or AAA's, CED, anything that's 1.5 volt, it's actually not 1.5 when it comes out of the package. It should be 1.6. So those are the numbers we're going to look for when we test. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these two AA's and we're going to check to see if they in fact have 1.6 volts. So we've got it on 1.5 right here for batteries. Then all you're going to do is you're going to set the battery down and you're going to look for the positive and negative side. With the little cap on it here, that side is positive, there's a plus, the other side is negative. So red goes to positive and black goes to negative. So all you have to do is touch these two ends and you'll see the multimeter start to work. Now it'll go up and down, but then it'll kind of settle down if you can hold these things on here nice and sturdy. So you look, you can see 1.59, and this is moving around, that's the problem. 1.6. Okay, so we've got it over 1.6. So that's a fully charged battery. So good. We paid $1 for these, and now we know that they are fully charged. So next, let's look at the Kirkland brand to make sure that that one is also registering at least 1.6. This one is kind of leveling out at 1.56. So that's actually not a fully charged battery. So these come in a pack of like 20 or 30 or some crazy number. I'm going to go find another one of these to see if we can make sure that the other ones are fully charged. Alright guys, I'm not happy. Look at this. I bought this from Costco, a bunch of batteries, and they work well, but now that I'm really actually looking at the numbers for each battery, they're selling batteries that aren't 100% charged. At least not this batch, and that's not cool. I checked every one of those, and the highest one I found was 1.56. So for this particular test, the $1 pack of Sunbeams, at least they're 100% charged. So just a little side note, what we're trying to do is figure out the capacity and percentage. So for instance, the Sunbeam was at 1.6 volts, so that's 100%. If it's anything below 1.6, there's a little bit of math involved, and I'm not going to go through the steps on how to do it. I'm just going to give you the numbers. So for this Kirkland battery, we got 1.56. You're going to take 1.56, subtract 1.1. That leaves you with 0.46, okay? So you take that number and multiply it by 200, and that gives you the percentage. In this case, 92%. So friggin' Costco sold me batteries that were 92% of capacity. Now, that could have just been my batch. It could have been because they've been sitting around for a little while, but I don't know, that's kind of shady, and I don't like that at all. All right, so moving on, I've vented my frustration. Let's move on to the 9 volt. It's the same concept, except you're looking for 9.6 volts. So the first thing you do is you take your multimeter, you switch it to where it says 9V right there. So now you're going to measure the correct battery. And all you're going to do for these is the same thing. So you're going to find the positive side, which is the little end right here, and the negative side, which is the bigger end. So the black lead goes to the bigger end, and the red lead goes to the smaller end. And then we're going to look at the voltmeter and look for 9.6. There you go. Bam. Over 9.6. So this is 100% charged. Oh, Sunbeam coming through. All right. This was also $1 just for this one. All right. Let's measure the Duracell. Same way. .14. I've got one more of these Duracell 9 volts laying around. Let's test this one. Let's see what we come up with. Same, 9.12. I don't get it. I don't get it. The Sunbeam, the cheapy cheap brand, is 100% charged on every battery that they've given me, and the better brands, the Kirkland and the Duracell, are not. I don't get it. Okay, so let's do the math again on the 9 volt. With the Sunbeam, you don't have to do anything because you know it's 100%. Okay, so for the Duracell, what we're going to do is we're going to take that number 9.12 and you're going to subtract 6.6. That's going to leave you with 2.52. Then you take that number and you multiply by 33.3. And that's going to give you the percentage. In this case, 83.9. This battery is 84% charged. So mad. Okay, so for the second test, we're going to measure the discharge, which is how fast these batteries drain. And that'll be a big factor in why we buy certain batteries. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this beard trimmer right here that I showed you earlier, and I'm going to put both of these batteries in at the same time, and then I'm going to let it run for 5 minutes. And then we're going to measure the voltage again, and we're going to see which battery drained more. Now, to keep it fair, after 2.5 minutes, I'm going to reverse the positions of the batteries just to keep everything fair. So 2.5 minutes, each battery, each position. After 5 minutes total, we'll come back and we'll measure the voltage. All right, so I got both batteries in here. I'm going to let this go 2.5 minutes. I'm not going to make you have to watch that. I'm going to put it on time lapse and you guys can listen to some awesome music while we wait. Okay, so slight change of plans. I couldn't leave it on for as long as I wanted because it already started losing power. So we left it on for 2 minutes, and now we're going to try to do another 2 minutes with the batteries in different positions. So I'll go set that up again and we'll try it. Okay, so the 4 minutes is up. 2 minutes with the batteries in either position. So we're going to take the batteries back and measure the voltage again. That way we will be able to tell which battery in fact lost more percentage of its capacity. All right, let's start with the Sunbeam, which again was 1.6 volts, so it was 100% charged. So let's measure it again and see what we come up with this time. 1.43. Okay, I'm going to write that down. Okay, I ran the numbers, but first, let's do the other battery. So now we have the Kirkland Brand, which again was at 1.56. So let's test this one. 1.47. Wow, I can see where this is going already. All right, I'm going to write this down. All right, check it out. This is really, really interesting, and I think it's going to be valuable information for all of you watching. And I'm going to read off my notes here. The Sunbeam battery that started at 100% is now at 66%. So by running that beard trimmer, that Sunbeam battery lost 34% of its capacity. Okay, lost 34%. Now let's look at the Kirkland Brand, which remember didn't start at 100%, it started at 83.9%. which is now down to 74%, which means that even though it started with less capacity, it only lost 9.9% of its battery life. That's a crazy difference. And you can see that that's how these companies like Sunbeam can sell batteries for so cheap, because they come fully charged, but they don't last nearly as long. So would I like Kirkland and Costco to sell full capacity batteries? Yeah, of course, and maybe that's something I can address or try with a different purchase. But at the end of the day, that's huge. That's great to know. And it means for me personally, I would not buy dollar batteries, 99-cent store batteries. I wouldn't do it because they don't last. They're you use it for a few minutes and then you got to replace the battery. It doesn't make sense financially or from a value perspective. So I'm not even going to test the 9-volt. Number one reason is I don't have anything that really uses a 9-volt except a smoke detector, which doesn't use a lot of energy, so we wouldn't be able to test it very well. But I'm going to assume that it's the same outcome. And that, again, plays into why these particular batteries are so inexpensive. So that's it for me today. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate all your support in the channel. Don't forget to subscribe if this is interesting for you. I'm going to do more of these videos. And don't forget that next time we're going to do the same style of video with light bulbs so we can see how they compare. Thanks again, everyone. We'll catch you next time.